Yeah, while still supporting the fact that the reward system in our politics seems to be very high, I think another very pertinent reason is the fact that there is no true altruism.
Okay.
Nobody wants to serve. It's actually a case of come in, get rich, or probably die trying. And so a lot of people come in there with no intention of serving anybody. Once in a while, I make this analogy. It's as one who has a farmland and you desire help for someone to work in your farm. And some persons come around and say, okay, please, I want to help you do your work. And you refuse, and you say, sorry, I don't need your help. If truly the person wants to serve you, all he does is to leave you and go. But in our system, people want to serve us because that is what they ought to be as leaders, they are servant leaders. They want to serve, and we are saying, no, we don't want you to serve us.
And he says, I must
and
serve
I must serve you. No. Because
it's tough love.
It's must. I must serve you, whether you like it or not. So you see the way it is. So you know full well that they're not coming to serve anybody, but they are probably just self-serving themselves.
Okay, we talked about, we started by making reference to Waziri Ibrahim of the Great Nigeria People's Party back then in 1979. One thing I find very interesting is the fact that at the time we had we had big wigs playing politics, reputable people, Nnamdi Azikiwe, Obafemi Awolowo, Waziri Ibrahim, Aminu Kano, you know. But now you just have two candidates, essentially. The rest are why do you think this is so? Because we do have very reputable Nigerians. Why are they not attracted to politics? We have people you can trust, people who are very sane, people who have integrity, but politics does not attract them. Why?
In Nigerian politics, a lot of dynamics has come into play. The process that is defining our present political situation has not been very put it in a way that is not going to offend anybody, has not been very good. At a point, we had almost 50-something political parties, and some of them were between 1999 and 2003. The political space was very narrow, deliberately narrowed. And between 2003 and 2007, we still experienced the same thing. Whether INEC should expand the political space, whether political parties should emerge on their own, or they should be legislated in or out. And between 1999 and 2007, we had political parties that had promises that they could not fit into the space because there was a lot of thorns in the political space. They couldn't survive. And then when it was liberalized in such a way that everybody can come in. And the winner takes all syndrome of Nigeria now came into play. You come in, there's a dominant party, or there are dominant parties already on ground, and you're trying to find your feet, and it has not been a good process in terms of political development. So individuals who would have played the kind of roles Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe played, Chief Obafemi Awolowo, the likes of Alhaji Aminu Kano and Alhaji Shehu Shagari, the kind of influence they had over the people then, today, part of the problem we have is that a lot of people with money influence, let me just put it that way, they come into politics with a lot of money, and they decide Mr. A is going to be the governor of this state, and with their money, they muscle their way through. But then it wasn't so. I think I was old enough in 1979 to know that you do, Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe or Chief Obafemi Awolowo were not classed in the financial. You didn't identify with them then with the money they had. Yeah. But today, the politicians of today, if you don't have the war chest, you can't come out, and that's part of the reason why you have two dominant parties now, where people with financial muscle could say, we want this, and they get together and get it done. You see how many presidential we don't have two presidential candidates, but you can hear only many of two. But the other presidential candidates, probably because they have not thrown the kind of money that these other two are throwing, you may never hear of them, but they may be the candidates you're looking for.
Okay, so still along that line, at that time, our candidates were the people who have, let me use the word, gift of the gab. When Obafemi Awolowo opens his mouth to speak, you hear sound economic policies, you hear Nnamdi Azikiwe was a wordsmith. If there are words in the dictionary, you want to learn vocabulary, you could listen to them, you go away with something. But the candidates we have now, I'm sorry, it's not like it was then. What do you think is responsible for this, Reverend Father?
Well, I think we're a product of our society, and over time you find out that what obtains globally, there is so much emphasis on wealth, there's so much emphasis on get rich. In our world today, we worship the wrong types of heroes. The wrong types of heroes. We celebrate, for want of a better expression, the wrong types of people that we ought not to celebrate. And following Abraham Maslow's laws, hierarchy of needs, it gets to that point of self-actualization. And you find out that what is your measure of self-actualization in a country like Nigeria is the amount of money you have in your pocket.
All right, we'll hold it there. We'll be back shortly. We'll take headline news, election 2015.